Researchers in Texas set up cameras to catch a killer. They immediately evacuated when they saw the footage, not because something dangerous was on the tape, because something invaluable was, and one whiff of human scent would destroy it. Rewind to early 2014. Wildlife agencies across Texas, Georgia, and Oklahoma flagged an anomaly none of them could explain. Entire sounders of feral hogs, 30, 40 animals deep, were vanishing from counties where they'd dominated for decades. Not thinning out, vanishing. No bullet casings, no traps sprung, no blood trails. Hogs that had survived poison, helicopters, and professional bounty hunters were simply gone, erased from the landscape overnight. A research team in Blanco County bolted trail cameras across a grid of dense hog territory to answer one question: what is killing these animals? 3 weeks later, they pulled the memory cards. Within 48 hours, the team was ordered off the site. Equipment stayed. People left. What those cameras captured didn't just solve the mystery. It detonated 50 years of wildlife management strategy in a single frame. Stay with me, because by the end of this, you'll understand why that footage forced 3 state governments to admit they'd been funding the wrong side of a war they were losing. To understand why that footage mattered, you need to understand the thing it was pointed at. Feral hogs are not American wildlife. They are a 500-year-old biological accident that never stopped compounding. In the 1500s, Spanish expeditions dropped domestic pigs along the Gulf Coast as living food reserves for future crews. Nobody expected those animals to survive the swamps and the heat. They survived all of it. They bred, they spread inland, and nobody came back to collect them. Then, around 1900, wealthy Europeans shipped Eurasian wild boars to American estates for trophy hunting. These were not soft farm stock. These were thick-skulled, razor-tusked predators forged in wolf country, built for the harshest winters on the continent. The domestic pigs found the boars. What crossbred out of that collision should terrify you. 300 pounds of muscle behind 6-inch tusks, 30 miles per hour in a dead sprint. Hide over an inch thick, backed by a fat layer that makes light ammunition useless. A reproductive rate that borders on obscene. One sow drops up to 24 piglets per year. Run that number across 6 million animals? That's not a population curve. That's a detonation.
Transmission of disease in feral pigs depends on the disease itself. Sometimes it can be through direct contact with the infected animal.
Texas holds nearly 3 million. Present in all but one of 254 counties. Let that land. And the wreckage? Annual destruction across the U.S. tops $3 billion. In Texas alone, hogs have shut down military airfields by charging runways at dawn, severed underground fiber optic cables, and collapsed water infrastructure beneath cattle ranches. One farmer in Williamson County lost $40,000 of corn in one night.
On a huge population of super pigs that have been running wild in the Saskatchewan wilderness for decades.
Walked out at sunrise. Nothing left but churned mud where his field used to stand. They also carry over 30 documented diseases: brucella, pseudorabies, parasites that jump to livestock and humans without hesitation. Streams in hog-dense zones have tested at bacterial levels 40 times above safe thresholds. This was the animal that was disappearing, the one no agency could control. And if humans weren't responsible, what was? First, you need to understand why nothing we tried had worked. Feral hogs have memory. Miss a shot, and that hog catalogs the sound, the direction, and the hour. It won't come back. Catch half a sounder in a trap, and the survivors don't just avoid it, they warn the rest. You are not hunting an animal. You're hunting an intelligence that studies your patterns and adapts faster than you do. So the obvious question, why not just eat them? 7 million free-roaming hogs. Surely that's a food source. It's a death sentence on legs. A third of Texas hogs carry brucella, the kind of infection that landed one hunter on months of aggressive antibiotics after handling a carcass bare-handed. 1 in 5 carries pseudorabies. Federal law bans commercial sale of meat not processed in approved facilities.
If a person becomes ill after the consumption of wild pig meat, Some of the clinical signs they may experience include flu-like symptoms.
And the taste? Animals raised on carrion and garbage produce flesh with a smell most people cannot physically get past. Italy calls wild boar a delicacy. America calls it a biohazard. Too intelligent to trap, too diseased to consume, too armored to drop without a perfect shot. Bruce Leland, 20 years in the field, said what no official wanted printed: "We do not have tools powerful enough to win this fight." And then, the hogs started vanishing anyway.
Dr. John Tomacek's team pulled the Blanco County footage and expanded the camera grid across 4 additional counties. Tomacek reportedly watched the first clip more than a dozen times before he believed it. A 30-pound coyote, executing a coordinated strike against a species 10 times its size. Here's how it works. And it doesn't read like biology. It reads like a raid briefing. Coyotes approach the hog nest from downwind. No exceptions. They flatten into the brush, bellies to the dirt, ears pinned, and hold position. Sometimes over an hour. No movement, no sound. The mother hog, 300 pounds of tusk and fury, patrols the perimeter. The coyotes don't challenge her. They outlast her. The instant she leaves to forage, the strike activates. One coyote holds a perimeter watch. A second low crawls in to mark the weakest piglet, the smallest, the one farthest from center. Then, in one synchronized burst, 3 or 4 rush the opening. The lead striker seizes the piglet by the neck. One bite, no correction. The pack vanishes into the tree line like smoke. 5 seconds. The whole operation takes 5 seconds. By the time the mother wheels around, tusks dropped, she's charging at empty air. But here's the detail that silenced the room. Some packs were running dry runs, approaching the nest, mapping the mother's patrol cycle, pulling back without contact. Hours later, returning from a different angle. They rotated roles between operations. Lookout becomes striker. Striker becomes scout. This is not instinct. This is learned, rehearsed, tactical behavior. Before 2010, there was virtually no record of it anywhere on Earth.
The worst invasive large mammal on the planet.
Lab work at Fort Hood confirmed fresh piglet tissue in captured coyote stomachs, not scavenged. Kills within hours. In Georgia, piglet DNA appeared in over 30% of coyote scat across multiple counties. In Oklahoma and East Texas, hog populations dropped 20 to 30% in coyote-dense zones.
I used to think that feral hogs was just a Texas problem.
No trap, no bullet, no human hand involved. Coyotes had become the most effective predator of America's worst invasive species. No budget, no program, no approval, which makes what happened next unforgivable. Between 2017 and 2020, multiple states launched coyote bounty programs. $75 per kill. Ranchers lined up. Weekend hunters made sport of it. Tens of thousands of coyotes wiped out under one assumption: fewer coyotes, safer livestock. Not one agency cross-referenced the kill data with hog population numbers. Not one. In a Texas county where coyotes were gutted by 60%, the feral hog population tripled in 3 years. Tripled. The piglets those coyotes would have intercepted survived, matured, bred litters of their own. Farms that had been stabilizing got hammered worse than any season on record. A wildlife consultant who'd tracked the data for years described watching those bounty programs roll out like watching someone drain the moat while the castle burned. When he presented the numbers at a regional conference, a state official in the front row put his head in his hands. Taxpayer money. Spent systematically destroying the only weapon that was working, and we called it management. The reckoning forced a total strategic pivot. Texas deployed smart traps, infrared-equipped enclosures wired to phone apps. A rancher watches a live feed from his kitchen, waits until the full sounder is inside, and drops the gate with one tap. No survivors to spread the warning. Some operators condition the hogs for weeks first. Doors open, free corn nightly, until the animals treat the trap like a feeding station. Then the door closes. Cycle over. Helicopter crews now cover hundreds of thousands of acres per flight.
Aerial gunning is another method in use. It means shooting wild hogs from helicopters or small planes.
Reaching swampland no ground team can penetrate. But here's what the people running this war admit when the microphones are off. The traps work. The helicopters work. None of it holds without the coyotes. Remove the one predator suppressing piglet survival at the source, and you're bailing water from a boat with no hull. Nature engineered a surgical counterweapon to a crisis we manufactured, deployed it for free, and we spent decades paying bounties to gut it while the hog population exploded around us. The vanishing hogs were never a mystery. They were a message scratched into the dirt of empty nests across the American South. Work with the system, or bleed for breaking it. So here's my question. Who do you trust more to manage this crisis? The agencies that funded the bounties, or the 30-pound predator that solved it in 5 seconds flat? Type, trust the coyotes, if nature had the answer all along. Type, too late, if you believe we've already shattered something beyond repair. Subscribe to Hidden Latitude. The next investigation goes somewhere even the researchers weren't prepared for.